Something.
Hi, good
Yeah.
morning. I'm Angela Hughes. I'm the luxury travel entrepreneur, and I am here today to talk to you about selling Bhutan and making that part of your luxury travel portfolio. You are in my bedroom because I still have housework going on. And so I'm happy to have you here. Today I have Langa Dorji and Damcho Rinzin from Bhutan Seoul, who are coming from clear across the world today. And so welcome, Langa. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Angela, for inviting us to give our overall the presentation about Bhutan and our the products and also what are the services we have. Thank you very much once again for inviting us. To begin with, let me just briefly say a few things before I hand over, the presentation to be done by Damcho Rinzin, my colleague. So, as you can see on the screen, my name is Langa Dorji. I am the CEO of the Bhutan Seoul Tour and Travel, and my colleague Damcho is our the advisor, and he is going to give us the presentation overall about Bhutan, about our company, and what are the other services and other the related the services we have here in the Bhutan. So with that, a few words. May I now hand over the to Damcho, to do the further presentation.
So thank you, Angela, and thank you who are watching us live. I am really excited to talk about, of course, none other than my country, Bhutan. Of course, the pandemic has really made us, what do you call it, made us to wait a lot in terms of wanting to go to different places. And of course, Bhutan has been preparing well in terms of inviting visitors to Bhutan soon. So we have been doing quite a lot of streamlining of systems and of course, enhancing the products, the infrastructure, so that we are ready when we open Bhutan. It's been over a year now since we first closed our borders to international visitors. It was 6th March last year that we closed. So just 2 days more after a year that we closed. I want to give a brief overview of Bhutan. So
Oh, you're cutting out on us for a minute. You're cutting out on us. Let me see if we've got an unmute. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. First of all, Damcho, tell me where, because a lot of our viewers probably don't even know where Bhutan is on a
Yes.
map. So
Yes.
the geography professor in me comes out. Let's talk about where Bhutan is and why that's significant. I mean, we kind of have to do Bhutan 101 right now and
Yes.
teach
Yes.
people,
Yes.
because I would say most people probably don't know where it's at on a map.
Our apologies for not being able to share a screen. We had a map on
Yeah.
our presentation slides, which we can share in future. But interesting that you asked where Bhutan is, and in one of my trips to United States, one of our colleagues in the United States asked me if they could drive to Bhutan. I think it's important that we have a map sometimes. But unfortunately today, because of technology, we can't share. So Bhutan is it's a beautiful landlocked kingdom. In the south foothills of Himalayas. So it's next to Nepal. So we have on our three sides India, south, east, and west, and on the north is Tibet of China, Tibet, autonomous region of Tibet on the north. So it's a very small country, and you can fly to Bhutan from Bangkok, Thailand, New Delhi, and Kolkata from India, and Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Kathmandu, Nepal, and Singapore. So these are the air routes to Bhutan. I mean, you can also enter from by road after flying to India. So this is how you get into Bhutan. I mean, approximate time for you to fly from Bangkok is about 3 hours or so.
Okay, so if you're watching today, so let's recap on that. If you're watching, you can easily come from Nepal, India, Thailand, any of those surrounding countries, India, and then make this an add-on. So this is a perfect thing. If your clients are doing India, maybe make an add-on to Bhutan, or if you're doing Nepal, do an add-on to Bhutan. But there's plenty to do in Bhutan if you want to make it a trip that's just only Bhutan as well.
Very true, very true. Yes. Some people combine their tour with Nepal, India, Bangladesh, even Singapore. But there are also few people that only come for Bhutan. And Bhutan, like you said, there are a lot of things to do, from nature to wellness to culture. So yes, you can do a standalone destination for Bhutan, and of course combining with other beautiful countries as well.
What do you think makes Bhutan so unique? Like, what type of traveler comes to Bhutan, and what type of client should they be attracting? Like my advisors that are following, tour operators that are following, what type of client comes to Bhutan?
Okay, it's very interesting. I really like the questions you ask. We in the tourism industry think that it's the beautiful mountains, is the unique culture, that the beautiful festivals that attract people to Bhutan. But after having done research of people who have already been to Bhutan, they tell us it's the Bhutanese people that they love a lot. It's the Bhutanese people that made their experience memorable. So it's very difficult for us to say, why Bhutanese people, but I guess it's the character, it's the GNH, the gross national happiness that we have. You can hear it, but I can't. I'm off the screen, but you can still hear me, right? So it's the people that has been a key part of the visitor experience. But I mean, yes, a lot of people come for wellness. There's of course, being in the Himalayas, we have beautiful trekking opportunities, and then culture is big for us. But overall, it's the exclusiveness of Bhutan, brand Bhutan. Bhutan, I don't know if you guys know it. You cannot just come to Bhutan. You must pre-plan, and it's only through Bhutanese tour operator, that you can come to Bhutan. So the Bhutanese tour operators can only process visa on your behalf. So everything has to be pre-planned, and depending on the season, summer and winter, the minimum charge is $200. That includes $65 of sustainable development fee that the government takes for the welfare of the country. And then there's autumn and spring of $250. So this includes 3-star hotel, a professional certified guide, then 3 meals, and of course a comfortable transport, land transport. So this has to be pre-planned. So this makes Bhutan a unique country.
Everything needs to be pre-planned. Somebody just can't come to Bhutan and just drop in and try to figure it out when they get there. So it's really important to use a travel advisor, and then connecting with Bhutan Soul to set this up, because it's not something you're just going to be able to wing on your own over there, it sounds like.
That's true. That's true. And somebody like Mr. Langa, has been in tourism for a very long time. Who better can than him? Of course, assisting in terms of planning tours, having a lot of experience. So this is what the country wants for Bhutan. People go for vacation to actually find peace and be happy, and not to stress out to get there. And you're looking for a hotel. You're trying to do some things. So Bhutan doesn't want our visitors to get stressed out. So it's through like Mr. Langa, Bhutan Soul as a company that would help make the experience of tourists a memorable one. So that's how the whole approach of tourism has been for Bhutan.
Okay, I just want to pull up your website really quick, because I know that we had some issues with technology coming from you guys. Tell me a little bit about this attraction right here on your front page that everybody sees that is super iconic.
This is the landmark, the icon for Bhutan. This is called Takchang Monastery, and it's popularly known as Tiger's Nest. So this is like the Opera House of Sydney. This is like the London Bridge for Bhutan, and it's the most visited site for Bhutan. It's the experience that people tell us. You have to be there to experience it. You can't just say this is how you feel when you go to the temple.
To get up to the Tiger's Nest?
It takes, for us, it's only about a half an hour, 1.5 hours to 2 hours. But for a visitor, I think it takes about, let's say, 4 to 5 hours up and down as a leisure, nice walk, because you don't want to rush. Bhutan is a slow destination.
So let me ask you: do you have to be in really great shape to go to Bhutan? Like, what if you had an older couple that you wanted to sell there who's like, I really just want to do this bucket list item? Is that something possible to do? I mean, if it's taking 2.5 hours each way?
Yes, very much so. I mean, the study that the country has done in terms of the types of visitors coming in, it's fairly, it's mostly elderly people. I think 55 to 60 plus, mostly, or this age group. So yes, Bhutan attracts fairly well-traveled, senior, experienced visitors.
Okay, I'm going to just go to this next. Tell me a little bit about this. So much wildlife and so many mountains. It really is an area of wellness, I think, over there.
Yes.
Talk to me about that for a minute.
This photo is one of my favorite. I think this actually draws a lot of people. This is Valley of Punakha, just after the Zong, the fortress, the beautiful fortress. But like you're saying, Angela, the Bhutan's forest coverage is about 71%, little more than 71%. And there's a lot of, 52% of the country is protected areas. So flora and fauna, it's everywhere. I mean, wildlife is everywhere. So in terms of, if you're looking a getaway into a nature, it's actually, very easy to find in Bhutan. So it's the branding that Bhutan has done to really let people slow their lives, So we say that if you are looking to speed up your life, Bhutan is not a country, But if you're looking to slow down your life, rejuvenate yourself, rediscover yourself, and find yourself, Bhutan is a place, it slows you down. It makes you reflect on your life. So it gives a lot of opportunities for visitors like that.
Okay, let's look at this next one again. Tell me for a minute what a tour looks like. I'm going to go to some of your packages here, right down here, most popular tours. Tell me a little bit about like the 4-night package, Bhutan at a glance. What does that look like?
So this is, you can see a stupa. There are some. This is part of the one of the most popular passes, mountain passes. It's about, I think, 3,000 or 3,500 meters above sea level. So this 4 nights, it's basically western part of Bhutan. You get a glimpse of Bhutan, western part of Bhutan, fairly modernized, western, but and yet still authentic Bhutan, right? So this four nights is mostly western part of Bhutan that gives you a glimpse of Bhutan. But of course, we encourage people to move out of western part of Bhutan and actually get a real authentic experience into Bhutanese life. But it's easy to get even closer to the capital.
So how many days do you think that you need to travel to Bhutan? Would you say the 8-night, 9-day is a perfect package for people?
The average length of stay for Bhutan is 7 to 8 nights. But that's really like because a major chunk of visitors come from the Asian countries, and Asians generally stay less number of nights compared to West. So US people from US, they do about 8 to 9 nights, and for example Swiss, they do about 13 to 14 nights. So Western European countries do a little more compared to Asian, which is about 6 to 7 nights.
Tell me what the religion is there. Is it deeply rooted in religion, or is it more in politics, or like this tiger's nest picture right here? What is that, and how did that come to be? Even the short version.
In terms of the religion, it's an integral part of our life. It's not really it helped us live our lives. You would see like something like Tiger's Nest. You would see temples all over the valley, and actually that's for us as a Buddhist, it reminds us of our human nature of having to be nice to people. You have to take care of the environment. So actually, it's very good that you have structures like this all over the place, because it's a reminder in our life to say that it's the impermanence in life, having to be nice, the values of being a Buddhist. So it's mostly Buddhist. People in Bhutan are mostly Buddhist.
Okay. And so what I love is what you first said at the beginning, that people initially come to maybe visit the structure because it's iconic, but they really come back because of the people. Do you
people.
guys
Yes.
have a lot of different tours that integrate with the culture and the people? If people
Yes,
want to be
yes.
really authentic and get to know people there?
Yes, yes. I think a small chunk of repeat visitors are all coming to get to know more about culture and people. So the attractions, I mean, like I said at the beginning, it's very difficult to say that you visit Bhutan because of people, right?
Right.
It's very difficult. But I mean, you can say that you can visit to Bhutan and a picture like Tiger's Nest, you say you have beautiful pictures of different landscape, trekking trails, but a lot of people end up coming back because of people. So understanding that, as a company like Bhutan Soul integrate have something that's very part of authentic culture experience, because that's like we understand that it plays an important role of a visitor.
It's undescribably beautiful there. I mean, it almost looks like you're in Montana in the United States. I mean, how do people have to do a lot of adjusting to breathe well there in terms of like oxygen levels when they're traveling there? Is the altitude
Before I
high?
answer that, I think Angela, I think having lived in Bhutan for so long, I still can't get over Bhutan.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying because I'm a Bhutanese, I just love it. I mean, it's just so different. And we have people who cry when I mean, the visitors. I'm talking about international tourists coming into Bhutan, who cry when we try and ask them how was their Bhutan experience. It's fantastic. I mean, after the kind of experience that we give. Um, and getting back to your question about uh, what was the second question? Sorry, what was the second question?
I forgot what my second question was, but I have another question for you. What about the luxury landscape? This feels a little bit like it is more eco premium for outdoorsy people. What about people that want a luxury experience and
Oh,
maybe they're not
yes,
so outdoorsy like myself? They want to see all of this, but in real life, they don't hike or
yes,
or go to the mountains very much. What about someone
yes.
like me? Yeah.
I mean, the goal of tourism industry of Bhutan is something called high value, low volume.
Okay.
So luxury, premium services, the whole system of the earlier that we mentioned about having to prepay in advance. You have to
Mhm.
know where you're staying in terms of hotel. You have to know who is going to be your tour operator in Bhutan. The whole approach is to ensure that you get high value. And I guess somebody like yourself, we have like international chains like the Aman. A lot of I'm not sure whether you're an Aman junkie, because Aman junkies love to only stay in Aman lodges. There are five lodges in five valleys. Now Six Senses is here. We have Taj, we have Dusit, we
Yeah.
have Uma. So there are luxury if you're looking for luxury hotels as well. But we define luxury not in terms just in terms of the properties, but the experience of luxury. Not
Okay.
everybody has this open, peaceful luxury experience that you get. Quiet. So our luxury is beyond the luxury properties that actually you would really find in other parts of the world.
Okay. Going back to my last question, I remember what it is. My question was, do you offer experiences where you can get up close and personal with the people?
Yes. Sorry, I forgot that question in excitement. I'm trying to say that how happy I am to be living in Bhutan. So yes, up close and for example, there are farm stays. You can really get to sleep with in a farmhouse, and you get to live with a farmer. You can experience whatever, like for example, milking a cow, maybe going to a garden, horse riding. You could do even field work. So to get up close with the farmers, farm days has been a popular tryout. You probably not want to stay 1 week in a farm, but there are people who stay 1 week in a farm. But the popular choice is 1 or 2 nights in a farm, and then you combine it with a luxury tour. So that's also something that a lot of people like to try.
Okay. Here's a big question because this would impact me incredibly. Wi-Fi connection. Let's say you have people coming over who need to stay connected because they're running businesses. I feel like Bhutan would be a great place to go if you want to be disconnected, but
Yes.
am I going to be able to connect if I need to work while I'm abroad?
This is a great question, Angela. We have guests who go frantic for first 2 days because they can't keep in touch with the rest of the world. And it's almost intentional, it's almost intentional for Bhutan. But after the first few days, they don't want to go back to touching their phones and going to laptop because they see, they have probably never experienced this kind of, they're forced to experience this experience, right? So they have really not realized and experienced how beautiful life is without the technology. I mean, you could,
This photo right here reminds me of Switzerland that we're looking at. Literally,
It's-
like Bhutan has its own Switzerland feel to it, to me.
we have almost close. We call it the Switzerland in Bhutan, in Bumtang, central Bhutan. This is Gasa in the northern Bhutan, and it's actually beautiful Gasa. Gasa is one of the starting points of snowman trek. Of course, one of the most amazing difficult treks in the world, a snowman trek. But Switzerland, we have a mini Switzerland in central Bhutan called Bumtang Valley. It's almost the valleys and then the trees and the landscape are really closer to Switzerland.
Okay, so it sounds like if you have adventure travelers who want to trek, can you guys set up those treks as well for them?
Oh yes, very much. I mean, trekking is something that Bhutan is looking to pick it up because a lot of people come for culture. But trekking, like I said, like snowman trek, the snowman trek is probably the most amazing and most beautiful. I've done it once. I'm very proud of what I've done, and this is just amazing. But there are other 1 or 2 days trek, and then 1 week treks, beautiful treks. I mean, this is just a teaser that you are seeing on the screen, but there's other beautiful places, while you go on trek.
Right. Okay.
And Angela, one of the things I want to tell you is Bhutan has the world's highest unclimbed mountain.
Even over Nepal.
The highest unclimbed mountain in the world. The
Okay.
Mount Everest has been climbed. So this highest unclimbed mountain is called the Mount Jomolari, Konkarfinsum, 7,570 meters above sea level. So Bhutan has banned mountaineering above 6,000 meters. It's basically for 2 reasons. One is, of course, the local communities believe that mountains are abodes of gods, and we must respect the sentiments of local communities. Right? The other reason is because of environmental reasons. So we have special places like these ones.
Tell me a little bit about wellness travel there, because I feel like that could be a niche that people could also sell. So we've got the eco outdoor trekking, we've got a luxury mix over there, and then I feel like you guys could really sell the wellness piece. Tell me about that.
Oh yes, this is something that we have really not been able to explore and promote more because wellness. There's this open air wellness, the whole general definition of wellness, open air yoga and everything. But we also have like the luxury properties that we discussed, we mentioned earlier of the wellness program, spa. And then one of the big upcoming ones is the traditional medicine wellness program that's happening. We call it Soa Rigpo. So it's a Tibetan origin medicinal therapy. It's very unique, and actually it has got quite a lot of variety in terms of how well you can actually be in terms of the different types of approaches that they take under the traditional wellness program.
Tell me, if somebody is booking a wellness group and they want to bring in yoga instructors, is that something you can arrange? And maybe
Yes.
spiritualist as well. Some people like to bring in, the Buddhist spiritualist to work with their group, etc. Is that something that you can arrange?
Yes, absolutely. We can absolutely arrange that. And of course, I mean, as long as if they bring the yoga instructor with themselves, of course, they have to they stay perhaps in a 5-star or 4-star properties, and where they have all these halls to meditate or to do a yoga, etc. So it is absolutely possible.
How many? Okay, looking at this slide right now, it feels like in Bhutan that just everywhere you have these pop-up iconic locations to visit. How far away is this from a hotel per se? How many hours would it take to get to this?
Okay, the Angela, the one picture you are seeing right here, right? So basically, when we talk about the when Damchu did mention about the western part of Bhutan. So basically, if somebody comes for 4 to 5 days or 6 days, so we cover up about 4 provinces. So the first one is Paro, and the Thimphu is capital, and then from Thimphu, drive about 2 hours, we reach to another province called Punakha. Punakha is the old capital of Bhutan, and this stupa here, it would depend the distance depending upon where which hotel or the where they stay. So basically, it is not more than half an hour drive to reach to the at the riverside, and then of course there's no access road beyond that river. So they have to cross the suspension bridge and they have to climb about 45 minutes to reach it. So it is really doable even by the elderly people. So it's not that tough.
Okay. I'm just going through these slides again. Here's a nice trekking photo. Okay. Anything else we want to say about this?
Which one? The mountain?
Yeah, just about Bhutan in general. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about weather. When is the best time to travel there? When should people go there? It seems like it could be pretty cold.
We have 4 seasons, and because when we say we are in the Himalayas, people think that it's snowing year round, and then when we say we are in closer to India, then some other things it's a lot of rain because of monsoon. It's not entirely true. In winter, I mean, in the northern part of Bhutan, it's a little cold, but in Thimphu, probably where we stay in the capital city, and maybe central Bhutan, it's doable. It's not very cold. The central heating in the hotels would be challenging, but I mean it's doable. We have 4 seasons, and then the question about best time to visit, it depends on 2 things. One is when can they travel? When can the visitors come to Bhutan? When do they have time to travel? The other one is what are they interested? For example, if they're interested in farming, it's very vibrant in summer. Everything's happening. Mostly the farming things happen in summer. There are people who really come for farming. So summer, they can't come in probably in winter or autumn. Autumn, yes, of course, harvesting season. But it entirely depends on what your interest. But we say Bhutan is a year-round destination. So it depends on when you're free to travel, and then what you want to see.
Okay.
Angela, the bottom line is the best season is the spring and autumn, of course. The spring is March, April, May, and September, October, November, and these are the two that we consider the very best season, because on both the spring and autumn we have different festivals in the different parts of the country. So again, as we have just mentioned, it also depends the interest of the people that they are visiting. Maybe the festivals, or trekking, or hiking, or more of cultural, or the wellness or yoga, things like that.
So you guys can really integrate into your packages pretty much anything that the advisor wants to put in there or the client wants. You can build that. You can custom build packages for.
Yes, absolutely. We can customize based on the needs or the requirement of the clients. Yes, absolutely possible.
Yeah,
for example,
I mean, look at that, you guys, for the viewers that are out there watching. And just a little reset. We're here learning about Bhutan today from the experts at Bhutan Soul, coming clear from Bhutan tonight at 9:00 their time, speaking to us right now on how you guys can up your game and learn a new destination, and one that's hot. I mean, Bhutan is such an emerging destination right now because I feel like people are really reaching for places that are just out of reach almost. And Bhutan really fits that category.
True. Yes.
Okay, let me flip through a few more of these pictures. Okay, I'm coming back to the original screen here. Let me stop the share. We've had a problem where we've lost Damcho for a minute.
Yes.
Langa, do you want to wrap up for us today? Anything else that you want to say about your company? And you've been in business a really long time. Tell us a little bit about how you got started and how you work with advisors and so forth.
Well, thank you for that question. It's very important for me to elaborate a bit of myself. Just to briefly let you know, I've started my career in the government tourism back in the mid 80s, and then after a few years of my work with the government tourism, so I went to UK to pursue my the further studies. I was there in UK nearly for 3 years. I came back, then I again started to work with the government for a few years, and then finally I had to decide and take a bold, decision to quit with the government job and then the venture into the travel business because I have started my career in government tourism. So it was really not a big challenge for me to venture or start the tour businesses here in Bhutan. Now it has been a little over 3 decades now. So I have quite a rich experience in the field of tourism, and as we have mentioned quite repeatedly, so we offer all kind of tours to Bhutan, be it cultural, trekking, adventure, rafting, festival, textile, birding, luxury tours. So Bhutan is the exotic destination, and increasingly, I think Bhutan is getting exposed, and so we are getting indeed quite a lot of the visitors. Steadily increasing over the years. But then, I think because of this COVID-19, the pandemic, I think globally it has been affected, and our border has been closed since March 2020, and still it is closed. And there is indication from our government and that they might open from the fall, meaning in autumn this year. But let's see. But again, that would also depend how far the situation unfolds in due course of time, right?
Right. Right. You said something really interesting, and this has been a hot thing too, is the textile tourism. And so I think advisors who are interested in like for instance, I had a friend and she did a lot of textile tourism. They went to different countries looking for fabrics, materials. They were quilters. I mean, there's so many niche markets that can come to Bhutan: trekkers, wellness, textile, culture. It's exciting. Now, Langa, we're still going to offer a fam trip, right? As soon as those borders open, we're going to get that on the books.
Yes, indeed. That offer stand valid, and hopefully, let's say the beginning of 2022, or let's say by summer. If not the early part of 2022, the summer should be. Even I do not believe in doing things late. So earlier the better for all of us. So I would certainly consider for the fan trip, and that stand valid.
Yeah, so Langa wants to meet advisors. You can connect with him in this group, Luxury Travel, Social Media, and Marketing, to talk about his product. He has a fantastic product, Bhutan Soul. And again, this is something, if you just really want to wow people and add it as an addition to India, Singapore, Nepal, any of those countries, or if they're down in Maldives and Sri Lanka, and then you want to shoot them up north, your clients, he is a great contact for that. And it's just been my privilege to get to know you over the past year. And, I have this opportunity to speak with you. I feel so enlightened. Okay, we have one question. Again, is it really difficult to adjust to the altitude?
The altitude is not really an issue because in the past, for last few decades, we never had any issue with altitude, because for few 1-2 days, they are being sort of acclimatized. They will be in a bit fairly lower altitude, meaning about 2,200 above the sea level, the meters above the sea level, and then they get used to it. And then if they come for a week, the maximum the altitude they will be crossing is about 3,000 meters, and it's not an issue at all. But then, yes, if the people are coming for the longer duration for the trek, then of course they would one or two would face the problems. but now we have the chopper, to rescue them. So it's not an issue at all now. But if I mean, as long as if they're coming for just for cultural or festival or just for short days, a hike and to visit monastery, different landscapes, etc. So there is no issue, of facing any altitude, problems.
Okay, Langa, I have another question. Okay, we talked about how spring and fall are the best seasons for that. Can you give our viewers some marketing tips on how they might be able to sell Bhutan better?
You mean, Angela, for spring and autumn?
Oh, well, just for year round. What marketing tips give advisors to?
It's the whole approach of tourism. Like we mentioned earlier, Bhutan focuses on high value tourism, which means that we really want people who are mindful and responsible to come and visit Bhutan, and that way I think even the host communities, host destinations within Bhutan also are very proactive in terms of receiving tourists. So it's really a well coordinated tourism destination that only few privileged make it. Privileged make it. So it's a very special place that we want to keep it as special. So that's why I think we have this minimum requirement of having to pay in advance, so that we make sure that people are really getting what they want to get as part of the experience. So it's a special approach to tourism where it's very sustainable. Some other countries probably may not have this approach of sustainable tourism. And a lot of times people tell us that, for example, somebody from another country would actually have been made they visit to Bhutan, and then they go back and say, "Oh, I've been to Bhutan," and the response from other colleagues get is, "Wow, we have been to Bhutan." They say it's almost impossible to get to Bhutan. So I always say that sometimes it's like my dream of getting a BMW to go to Bhutan.
Right.
So that's the special thing about Bhutan. It's very exclusive, and not only the right people actually make it to Bhutan.
Angela, let me just supplement one or 2 points, especially with regard to visa. I know that in the past few decades or the few years back, I think the news it has been spread it around the world is that it's very difficult to get visa to visit Bhutan. But contrary to that, actually, it is very simple and easy. It just takes 2 to 3 days to get visa. We do everything here in Bhutan. We do everything as a package. So, we just need the copy of passport and few other details of the visitors. And then we just apply from Bhutan. They don't, even our business partner in abroad, they don't have to crack their head to, write to the embassy or, call here or there. So they don't have to do anything else. Everything we take care of here, right from the Bhutan. So it just, take just, 2 to 3 days max.
Right. So it's not as difficult as it appears to get the visa.
Not at all. Yeah, you are very right. Not as difficult what people has perceived, or it appears to be. Being hurt by many people.
Okay, our time's up. I am so appreciative of you guys for jumping on, and we had some technical difficulties, but we made it work. Of course, you're on the other side of the world, and so that's to be expected. But thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. And if you're watching from the Luxury Travel University, check out our fam trips. Also, check out, our fam trips are at luxurytraveluniversity.com, and our host agency is Trips and Ships Luxury Travel. And of course, you can find me here every Tuesday talking luxury travel, social media, and marketing secrets here in the Luxury Travel University Facebook group. So thanks for joining us. Connect with these guys. Their information, Bhutan Soul website, is in the link below. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us, and I hope we can have another round of meeting. Where we can have a bit more exclusive information to talk about.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.